Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My hair is a little wet this morning because I've already been for a swim in the Irish Sea. How extraordinary is that? Good morning, Mandy. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Look at this. See what it does to your hair? What can I say? It's another bad hair day, but who cares? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all, guys? Very nice to see you. Round of applause. All is going well. What's that sound I hear? I think it might be the sound of a glockenspiel. Who knew these extraordinary things lie inside of us all? How are you all, guys? How are things with everybody today? All well? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. How are things going? So, just a reminder, very important if you haven't already done so, to make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Good idea, then you'll know what's happening, and that'll be useful for you and for me and for everyone on the planet. And today, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to change my specs. Did you see what I did there? Shall I do it again? I'm going to change my specs. What do you think? Makes a huge difference to me. How is that to you? So today, guys, what we're going to be talking about is developing again our mission. We're going to be looking into ways of developing that. Now, I know there are a couple of new people here today, so this is, I'm going to give a little bit of a recap again, just so that we're clear on what it is that we're doing. Otherwise, it just sounds like sort of demented stuff. The man getting on with that. Top of the morning, everyone. Top of the morning to you too. You see, people do say top of the morning in Ireland. People say that it's not, that we don't, but we do. But it's true. Morning, Emily, all the way from London. How's it going? Any news on the globe? Any news on the reopenings happening over there? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. How are things going? Does anyone have any news? Anyone know anything that's happening? Maybe there's something we don't know. Have you heard about? There was this thing I posted about the other day about a Netflix show that's being shot in, I think it's in Spain, and suddenly they had to do this extraordinary kind of scene when they realized that, they got all these actors together. Then, of course, there's this problem called COVID. And then they looked inside and they read the script and it said, and then Consuela kisses Manuel. And then they thought, hold on, what are we going to do about this? So the actors themselves had to quarantine and isolate for 14 days before they could have the kiss. Isn't that extraordinary? I mean, who would have thought that we'd be having that kind of a thing? I wonder what that will do to the level of the kiss. That's my thought. All I could think of was, oh my God, these two guys are sitting there thinking about the scene, this intimate scene they're going to have to be playing. And they've now got 2 weeks to think about it. How would that affect you? What do you think? These are all these changes coming up. Has anyone got any information, any news, anything that you can tell us? Good man. Brian's doing the work, activating the deep consciousness every night before sleep. Brilliant. You know, the thing is, what's so cool about this? The brain does all this anyway, right? We all know that what is happening, Apple TV is doing foundation. Excellent. So what we know is the brain, as we go to sleep at night, the brain processes and deletes. Let me go through this is just for those of you who are new to this, that what we're using here is talking about the NLP model, communication model, right? So information comes in through the senses, external input comes into the brain deletes, distorts and generalizes whatever's going on through our filters. And just for those of you who know, one of my coaching, when I do coaching, I work from the meta program position. A meta program means I'm looking for the simplest way to make a single change that's going to be the most extraordinary change possible. I don't say, okay, what is the person, struggling with? I say, what is it that I can do? How can I intervene here to cause the greatest amount of change possible in the shortest space of time? It's why my coaching works. Just thought I'd let you know. Now, here we go. Attitudes, all these things. These are what's going on inside our brain. So information that comes in, we filter through all these things. We create a map, an internal representation of the world, which is what we all have. Harry, you and I were talking about that yesterday. That's actually, that map is what I'm suggesting you may need to look at, because that might need to change a little bit. The state needs to come into play then, and then that changes our physiology. Again, let's say if you're feeling kind of like really powerful and confident, if that's your emotional state, then your physiology reflects that. Your body kicks into gear, you feel more confident, you feel more out there, and you get out and your behaviors change and your actions change in the world. If what happens is that you're getting in, let's say you have a negative experience from an acting audition or from let's say it's a casting director who puts you down, or you're always focusing on the way that those teachers or those parents treated you and gave you that hard time. Good morning, Beatrice. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? Welcome. Where are you calling in from today? If something comes in that's of a negative thing and we judge it as being negative, it comes in through the senses. That's what is experienced. And we don't delete, we focus on that. We generalize the fact that we have a negative experience going on in our mind. Let's say it's about, playing small, because we were always taught to play small and conventional when we were at school. And so that becomes what we generalize, and that's our smallness. And our meta programs are very limited in what we can do. Our decisions will be small and feeble. Our attitudes will be tiny and weeny. And our map of the world will be a small, frightened little mouse looking out. And then what happens is that your emotional state is reflective of that. Your emotional state will more than likely be, far slightly, let's say, intimidated by things. Your physiology will reflect that, and your behaviors will be small and insignificant. So that's what I do when I'm doing the coaching. I'm shifting all of these patterns that are happening in terms of people's brains, the way that they look at things, the way that they look at the world. Because when you come from a different place, what happens is everything else changes. As you can imagine, I mean, it's kind of like common sense, right? If you're feeling like super confident, if you've got that feeling of sort of, power going through your body, if you feel that kind of connection and connectivity with material that you're working with as an actor, with the other people, then you can absolutely make different changes. How lovely to see you, Beatrice. Lovely. Yeah, great. Please do. You're very welcome. Lovely to have you. By the way, Beatrice, if you signed up to me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, because then you can get access to all the training that we've done before from here. Are you by any chance a friend of Honey Heinrich? Just as a matter of interest. I'm just wondering. Anyway, so that's what goes on here. That's what we're all doing. That's what the purpose of everything that I'm doing here is all about. So when we start from the learning state, which is what we talked about, 3 or 4 sessions ago, the learning state is that state which you can probably feel that inside your mind now, of that wondrous kind of childlike awe, that we have about learning and the new skills that we have. Then we start to create what we call, we get the goals that we start to write. If you follow through with that, these are the outcome questions, the goals stated in the positive, etc. All of those things. And for those, particularly Beatrice and anyone else who needs to, you can revise by going over what we've done in the last few weeks, and you'll cover everything and be right up to scratch, right up to where we are now. That would be so cool. So that's what we're doing. We're building on the goals, we're building on the well-formed outcomes, we're creating a new reality for ourselves as we travel along in life. And like Brian this morning was saying, now where's his comment? Brian says, yeah, activating my deep consciousness every night before sleep. Now, as I was saying earlier, your brain literally reformats and goes through everything that you've been experiencing during the day as you sleep. You probably know that feeling when you wake up and you're slightly groggy, and then well, that's because all this stuff has been changing and happening. What I'm about, and what I really suggest you guys become about, is starting to directionalize your thinking overnight. When you start to take charge of your brain during the day, which is what we're doing, all the stuff that I'm talking about is about building up new skills, new habits, new practices to give you more sense of power and agency in your life as actors and performers and people in general. Because you know what? These skills work for life. They really, really do. If you can start to directionalize those very specifically and start to activate those unconscious processes at night, you will find that what happens is that your brain starts to kick into gear, and everything that we're talking about will start to affect you more and more. In fact, let me ask you, since we've been doing this, are there any of you guys out there who have noticed a change in your dream material, or how you're waking up, or how you're progressing, or what are you saying? What are you seeing? What are you noticing? What are the changes that are occurring? Just let me know. Write in the comments what it is that have been changed. These can be tiny little shifts. Hey Colin, nice to see you. How are you doing? So just to reflect, you know, anyone who hasn't seen this, you just go back into subscribe to me on YouTube, and you can go back and cover everything that we have done. Yeah, Beatrice is revising and keeping catching up. Cool. That's the way to do it. It really is. It really is. The more you can make this a kind of a habit, something that you do on a daily basis, the greater chance you have of bringing it to life in the daytime, and the more that you can let it sort of filter through at night. The way I like to describe it is that what we're learning is new skills during the day, and as you go to sleep, all these new skills start to filter in to your unconscious, because we have a conscious mind and your unconscious. Your conscious mind is good at the logical stuff, at the step-by-step sequential thinking, but your unconscious is where everything else happens. Every memory you've ever had is stored in your unconscious. Your unconscious knows everything. Your unconscious beats your heart. It does all sorts of things. It keeps you moving. Now, there you go. Eamon's saying he's more focused in the morning as a result, because you have a goal. You're setting yourself up. You're choosing to focus on what it is that you're doing. Yeah, your confidence is increased at choosing to be successful. The more you choose, you make this a choice that becomes ingrained. It becomes an installation inside your mind, like a new habit. You know, if you just start doing these things on a daily basis, you will notice extraordinary changes. So, if you recall, those of you who are new may find this a little bit strange, but don't worry about it. We're going to go back into a slightly kind of meditative process where we're going to connect much more with our visions and our mission, what it is that we consider to be the most important things. The way I look at it, the way I teach goal setting is through the well-formed outcomes, so that we've got that very specific type of goal. Let's say if you're going to be, if you're an actor, you want to choose to be, let's say, Beatrice, it's, want to be in the Schauspielhaus in Berlin, right? If you have a very specific goal, you use the well-formed outcome. And what we do here is what do you want specifically? The brain cannot handle generalization in terms of goals. If you say, what do you want? I want more money. Well, you could be walking along the street and you find $5 on the floor. That's your money. But if you're trying to make money, you need to know specifically how much money do you want to make. Because when you can plan that very clearly, then you give your brain a very specific target. Yeah. Now, that's really cool. The baby steps are helpful. Always felt overwhelmed, but the baby steps are realistic. Exactly. It's the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to break down. In NLP, we call that chunking down. We chunk down. Let's say we have a massive goal, this huge thing that we're looking for. I want to win the Oscar. Right? How many people want to win the Oscar? Yes, it has to be said. We all want to win the Oscar. And it's definitely going to happen at some point for some of us, no doubt. So let's say it's that. So what we do, we start to chunk the goal down. How are we going to win an Oscar? Well, probably a good idea to have won an Emmy first. Well, chunk that back. Well, it's probably a good idea to get a Golden Globe or a BAFTA under our belt. So how do we get one of those? Well, you've got to be on, high-end TV in a regular show. So you've got to be in a high-end show like Succession. Let's say you've got to be in that. Okay, you've got to be in a high-end show. How do you get to be in a high-end show? You see what we're doing? We're reverse engineering the massive goal. And each one of these becomes a step. So we're looking at a step-by-step method of activating your goals. These are some of the goals that I specifically put into practice for playing Sir Thomas Boleyn in The Tudors, for getting Da Vinci's Demons, for doing Hatfields and McCoys. This is exactly the process that I'm talking about. And I reiterate this often. So let's just dive in a bit deeper now, because the mission is something that kind of sits on top of your goals. It's what wakes you up, it's what pulls you forward. And I've shared with you guys quite a bit now that one of the biggest things that I love to do one of my mission statements for me is that I want to end needless suffering for actors. Right? It really is. It really is. Beatrice, absolutely. The goal has to be specific and realistic. Absolutely, it does. And it's also important to have a bigger goal that is bigger and a little less specific and a little less realistic. One that's more passion driven, one that fills you up, one that inspires you. Because if you think about it, from just using my example there, I want to end the needless suffering for every actor on the planet. Now, look, is that realistic? Is it realistic? No, it's not. It's impossible for me to end all the suffering for every single actor on the planet. Right? That's the specificity of it. It's not realistic. It's unrealistic. Certain goals absolutely need to be specific. You need to be oriented towards something. But it's vital to have this bigger goal that sits above everything, because it will pull you forward much more. So what I want to do is to just begin with a little bit of relaxation. Then we're going to dive into the second part. For those of you who missed the first part, you can revise. It doesn't matter which order you do these things. You can revise anything. It's all good. It all works. And you're just talking to your unconscious mind. So begin to have a little bit of a moment and just relax. Just allow yourself to just go into peripheral vision. And begin to relax more and more. Those of us who know about focusing on this tight little thought in our head, I know you do, Melissa. You know that tight thought that you have going in your head, that we all have, the single thing? Yes, but what we need to do is to go into peripheral vision, opening up behind us. And we can bring our hands round here to see our fingertips out of the corners of our eyes. And notice we can almost begin to feel that space behind us opening up more and more as you notice that your body begins to relax. And the reason we are diving into relaxation is because we're bypassing the critical faculty and communicating directly with your unconscious. So allow your unconscious to open up and receive everything of benefit for you, because that is the prime directive of the unconscious mind: to support, to love, to cherish, to encourage, and to keep the body safe. And you will probably feel a head nod inside, just starting to agree with this thought now. And as you experience the depth that you can dive in to your unconscious, swimming down the way deep inside your unconscious, we're going to find a specific direction for your grand vision. First step is we're going to make a proposal. Propose to your own inner wisdom that specific images or a short video of images, Melissa, develop in your mind's eye. In your own inner theater, what you can see inside your mind's eye, these images represent a direction that your mission could take. You can enjoy this. You can watch what happens. It all comes and springs from your inner vision. Now we're going to add special effects. Add your own kind of stereo, surround sound, high fidelity music. You can use the music you're hearing now, but you can bring in a choir of cheerleaders. You can bring in people clapping. You can bring in encouraging angels. You can use your imagination in ways that you may never have begun to even think about using. Now, there are certain kinds of favorite music that convey to you a sense of importance and a sense of the profound implications of embarking upon this mission in your life. That might be classical music, it might be opera, it might be hip hop, it might be garage, it might be punk, whatever it is for you. Choose your own specific sense of music that conveys that sense of importance. And now we're going to focus on formulating a sentence. You may hear it faintly at first, and if you do, turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. As you see this image or series of images, and you hear the music, as you look at it all happening now, formulate a sentence or two in words. A brief mission statement that describes your mission. Steven Spielberg may have said that as he looked at what he wanted to do in his life, he might have said, I am a planetary storyteller. I will tell stories that help people grow. Pretend to be him and get the feeling. Mahatma Gandhi may have said, I am a peacemaker. I bridge people together to achieve peace in the world. Pretend you are Gandhi. What do you feel? I may say, my mission is to heal the unnecessary suffering of actors. Feel that. Now we're going to include your values or a principle. Formulate your own words describing your mission. And as you look and see the images before you representing your overall mission and your sense of purpose, you can see yourself out there living that purpose with a verbal principle that guides you. Now you can feel the feeling. Feel the feeling. Along with the images and the music and the principle and the words, a very, very profound feeling may be welling up from within you. It is a sense of the importance of this mission to you. These feelings flow from within you, and they guide you. Trust them. And now step into the mission direction. And now as you look at these images, this mission direction in front of you, take the next step. Step into that mission. Step into it right now and enjoy being in the various stages of its unfolding. Look around you, feel it, see it, hear it. Feel that tingle, the buzz, maybe that sound, those sounds. By jumping into the future, into your unfolding mission, you can sense how wonderfully it expresses your purpose and your innermost values. You can keep doing this. You're exercising your mind in a playful way. You're using and amplifying your imagination. Keep cycling through this kind of a mental process until you see your specific direction within your grand vision of your mission out there. The feeling you get by stepping into this mission is a deep value, and resources will help you fulfill this mission. Record the specific direction for your mission for the next year in your journal so you can keep it handy. You may do that now if you have your journal with you. If not, you can just take your time after this and write it down. But begin to feel the flow of this mission, pulling you forward, exciting you, enhancing you, entreating you to come for the journey, for the ride. And now we're going to align yourself with your specific mission. And we're going to begin by questioning yourself. As you ask the following series of questions, sometimes you'll get feelings and answers that support your mission. Other times, a part of you might go, oh, I'm not sure about that. What? Why do you want to do that? What's that? What? Notice that every objection that you get contains important information. And if Andrea is there, this is what you need to pay attention to. Every objection contains important information about how to carry out your mission, as long as you listen to it and respect it. I think this is talking directly to Melissa and directly to Arlene. Am I right? Here are some questions to ask yourself. How does this mission relate to my responsibilities in my present work? Think about those responsibilities and activities. How does this mission relate to my family? Contemplate the others in your family and circle of friends, your peer groups, other actors, people you work with. How does this mission relate to me and all the other activities that I do? Begin pondering the implications of this mission for you. How does this mission relate to my own community and my future? How does it relate to my state, my country? to the life I am living, to my world. And now we're going to negotiate with the parts of you that object. And it's okay to have objections. Any part of you that objects to this mission is a part to listen to respect and respond to respectfully. When an objection comes up, listen and respond. This is the most crucial part of this process. Give yourself permission to do this well. When an objection comes up, listen and respond. How you deal with these kinds of objections is crucial for creating congruence and alignment for your mission. Negotiate with any part that you object to that objects. I'll say that again. Negotiate with any part of you that objects to your mission. Negotiate just as you would with anyone you care deeply for, anyone you love, because you do love yourself now. Do you not? Listen to the objection. Hear it. I don't want you to be successful because you're going to become impossible when you're successful. I don't want you to make too much money because people won't like you if you make too much money. Whatever the objection is that you have, that you can hear inside your mind, find the positive intention and deep value. Ask yourself, ask the part of you that objects, what is your positive intention for me now? What is the deepest value? Freedom, self-expression, storytelling, love, fame. What is it for you specifically? With an objection like, I'm not sure my husband or my wife will think of this, or my boyfriend or girlfriend, my partner might think, you might say, what is the positive value that you seek by that concern? And if the answer is, I would like to seek his or her full participation in the mission, then you would develop alternatives for achieving that, such as honest discussions or detailed negotiations. Then you and the part would agree on a course of action among those new alternatives. And now we're going to understand the reality of physical death. Realize this now, that there will be a time when this physical body will be no more. Before that time, you can make your mark. Create an intensity of desire to do what you are here to do in this life. The awareness of death can help you live a life that has incredible purpose, depth, and meaning. Now we're going to find reasons for support. As you see your mission unfolding before you and you hear the principle stated, your phrase stated, ask yourself, how is it good for me? How does it represent who I am, who I care about and what is meaningful. These questions can be your teachers and your guides. They can help you to re-examine and solidify and strengthen the sense of living this mission. Think about another question. How does passionately living this unfolding mission provide a way for me to live my best life? While completing this set of questions, you'll know you have alignment with your mission by an increasing feeling for your mission. A feeling inside that says, yes, this is my mission. Keep cycling through these questions until you get that feeling right here, right now. It comes from agreement with all the parts of you who would be affected by any change as major as a new or revised mission in life. And keep going, keep experimenting, keep cycling through this as you allow yourself to gradually and easily come back into the room, fully wide awake. I'm just going to cover over a couple of the things that people are writing about during that. Arlene said, when we were asking about where are you going, what has happened, what are the changes, Arlene says, I put in application to Screen Island Actor as a creator. Fabulous. Something I would never have done as I believed I didn't belong. I did it without even thinking about it. I just knew I had to do it and I could do it. That is the level of knowing. You see, you cannot learn to ride a bike by reading a book, right? You can only learn these things by doing them. And when you know what it's like, look at my hair, what is going on? When you know, you wake up in the morning, you think, I must get my hair looking good, you know, because I'm going online today. I want to look okay and all that stuff. So I decide to go for a swim, and then it goes completely mad. Look, mad. What can you do? Nothing. You see? What did they say? Man makes plans and God laughs? It's about right, isn't it? Anyway, that's what's going on today. So, but that's the kind of thing. When you come from that place inside of you where you know something, you have a deep knowing. That knowing that you already know isn't necessarily logical. It isn't, you know, I don't know this because I trained as a ballet dancer for 17 years and therefore I must know this thing. There you go, look. I applied to BAFTA on Monday. Before that, I felt unworthy and not good enough. You applied to BAFTA on Monday. Before that, you felt unworthy and not good enough. So, what do you feel now, Brian, having made that decision to apply to BAFTA? How do you feel? I'm guessing you felt worthy and good enough. But you tell me in your words, what is it that you feel, that you think about you now? You get the idea, guys? What we're doing is we're bringing up a part of you. Your unconscious is extraordinary. It has this incredible power. And be honest with me, how many of you knew that all of this was within you half an hour ago? Did you know? How can that be? How deep is this stuff that we're doing? Can you see how this connects to something bigger than just, I want to meet casting directors? Get the idea? You see, when you come from a position of mission, this is my mission. This is why I am here. This is why I was born. I am on this planet to do this thing. When I come from that place, when I get a thing that says, hey, you got a self-tape, you've only got 10 minutes to get it in, I go, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I feel strong and worthy and confident, and nothing can hold me back. I am empowered. That's it. And the more you develop these things, the more you allow yourself to dream about your mission at night. It's almost like, I think of it like this, is that, this thing of, like I'm talking about, the meta program for me as a coach. My meta program is to float up above whatever I see happening with the person that I'm working with. And rather than just, concentrating on, let's say I see an actor and the actor comes in and I see the actor is nervous. I don't ask, how can we, stop you feeling nerves? I ask, what is the one thing that I can do which will guide this person towards achieving a sense of relaxation and confidence in their life? Do you see a difference? Right? And when you kind of like come at your work as an actor from this place, everything else just like, whoa. Melissa says, that meditation felt so empowering. Good, great. Remember, guys, you've got this. Absolutely, you have this stuff. You can kind of, you can, this is recorded. You have this, you can go over this. Like a stone being, sorry, I'll read that again. Like a stone being thrown into a lake, my feelings rippled and pulsated from the inside out like radiation with clarity. Love it. And what we were talking about the other day, Melissa, when you're in this space, when you come from this place, who cares about the veil, baby? You know what I'm saying? You see, you will transcend the smaller worries, the smaller niggles when you come from this place out into the world. That's why this stuff works. That's why it makes changes. That's why it has a bigger, more powerful impact. Okay? Because we're going into really, really important things. Okay? That makes sense? Let me know that you understand that. Just let me know. Cool. Okay. So two things. Some stuff has come up, I'm afraid, so I can't do my masterclass next Tuesday. I'm sorry. I've got things I have to do. It's related to an agent, is all I can tell you. More than that, I cannot say. So unfortunately, I cannot do Tuesday. But what I've decided to do, because I know, particularly from Arlene's point of view, that the 5 o'clock time was good, I'm going to do it the following Tuesday. So it's going to be the same time. In fact, look, here's a little thing. Here it is. My live online masterclass is now going to be the 7th of July, 2020 at 5 p.m. So you need to register your interest today. The link will be below. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you give me 2 seconds, I can pop the link in the, let me just see if I've got it here. Yeah, I think I have. Yes. I can put the link here and you'll need to be registered to get, did that come through? There you go. That's it. Nick Dunning Masterclass -1. That's the one. So you come onto that and register your interest in that. I'll also post the link afterwards, as well. So it'll be here if you come back. But that's when the masterclass is going to be. It's the 7th of July at 5 p.m. So you need to register your interest today. There is a link. And there are limited places. It isn't, I think we might do 30, 40 people, something like that. Really going to be cool. Really looking forward to it. For those of you who don't know, what I'm going to be doing is a 3-hour live online masterclass. And it's going to be broken down into 3 acts. The first act is going to be about how I approach scripts, how I break down a script, how I use a timeline, how you keep yourself organized when you're shooting. For example, let's say you've got a scene And it's happened to me many times where you go, okay, my first scene happens to be my death scene. In fact, that happened, actually did happen. When did that? Oh yeah, Miss Scarlet and the Duke. That was the first thing I had to shoot, was my death scene. So when you have to shoot a scene like that out of sequence, which is the culmination of your particular part, how do you prepare for the overall thing and how do you break it down? What happens if you do your death first, the next day you do your birth, and then you do your marriage? Do you see what I'm saying? How do you organize those things? How do you get yourself sorted so that it's always clear? I'm going to take you through the process that I use every single time. And that's the first act. The second act is going to be about, literally being on set, how you can use the camera, how to connect with casting directors if they're on set, with agents, when agents turn up. When, let's say you're working with a star and the star's agent turns up. What do you do? Do you say nothing? What do you do? How do you handle that? How do you handle wardrobe? How do you handle first assistants, third assistants? What do you do about your energy? How do you manage your time on set? How do you kind of connect to other people? Do you play Sudoku all the time? What do you do? I don't do Sudoku because I can't do it, but I do cryptic crossword. Whatever you do, you've got to find ways of managing your energy on set. It often happens to me, and I'm sure it happens to you. You get called at 6:20 in the morning, you arrive on set at 7, and then you're not used till 4:30 in the afternoon. How do you specifically manage your time? What do you do so you don't destroy your chance of success in that scene? Remember, every single time you go on set, every single time a camera turns over, you're building your present and your future. This is, you're sculpting your self-tape. You're sculpting your, not self-tape, your show reel. You're actually literally building that. That's what you want to do. Am I talking to you, Harry? You know what I'm saying? This is what you've got to be doing, okay? So, and the third act is going to be primarily, I'm going to be talking about specifically how I created the role of Thomas Berlin, how I won the IFTA for it, and all of that stuff that's going to go along with that. So it'd be specific process to something that was incredibly successful for me personally. So I'm going to take you through all of that over a 3-hour live masterclass, and that will be on 7th of July 2020, 5 p.m. Register your interest today. There's the link. Do click it now if you haven't got it. Those of you who haven't seen it, I think it's still there. There you go. Jump on that. And the cost for this is going to be €97, which works out at about €30 an hour. So it's not too bad, I don't think. I think it's a good price. And my bonus for you guys is to say you can bring a friend. So what we're going to do is that means you can get two of you can come along for €97, which works out about $45 each. So I think that's good value for those of us in lockdown time. And I hope you do. Let me know if you think that's good value. I think that is. So look forward to seeing you then. The other thing I wanted to say was we'll be doing this again next week because I want to really kind of like, we're moving into anchoring next week. I'm going to do a bit about anchoring because that's really powerful. I'm going to show you some of that next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But after that week, I want to change the time of these lives from 10:45 to 1 p.m. So it's like a lunchtime live. Does that sound okay with you guys? Is that a good time? Because I'm finding that I need to make that shift in my, it's literally to do with home life, it's dog walking, it's all those things, and also, other stuff that I'm working on, need to keep my mornings a little freer. So hopefully that gives you an okay. Let me know, is that going to be all right, 1 p.m.? And if that is okay, would you like me to start finishing this next week on at 1 p.m.? Let me know. Just let me drop it into here. Anyone got any thoughts on that? Just want to make sure that you're all okay with that. Yeah? Let me hear from you. Would everyone be cool with doing like a 1 o'clock next week? 1 p.m. Good time for Brian? Good man. Lunchtime live with Nick, 1 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sound good? It's better. Great. It's Rachel, of course it is. That's right. To allow my son to use my profile. That's right. 1 is perfect. Yeah, sure. Great. That's better. Brilliant. 1 p.m. is fine. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, consider it done. 1 p.m. is good for Melissa. Grateful to you too. Fantastic, guys. That's what we're going to be doing. So, Monday, we're going to start from 1 p.m. and then I'm going to wrap up what we're doing on this by the end of next week. We're going to be talking about your high performance mental imprint, and we're going to be, which is just amazing. Did I sell that well? What do you think? And we're going to be doing that. I'm going to talk about anchoring as well. Any of you familiar with anchoring? Because as you begin to imagine, you can see what's coming next week. You can start to feel that sense of excitement, buzzing in your body now, because you can learn to anchor any kind of feeling that you want to take with you on stage, on camera, whatever. It's real simple. And we're going to start with the Circle of Excellence. That's what we're going to do next week. How many of you have done the Circle of Excellence? Let me know. But did you know you can use it in any modality? Did you know that? For example, those of you who are Total Edition Magician members, I've talked to you often about the Circle of Excellence in terms of confidence, but you can also use that, which is using the visual image, where you've got the red circle or the blue circle or whatever it is. You can use that to anchor the feeling of confidence inside your body, but you can also use sounds. You can anchor sounds inside your body. You can anchor feelings. You can use sights and smells and tastes to really get yourself excited about things and get yourself into a really buzzing high performance state. So that's what we're going to be looking into next week, okay? Your high performance mental imprint plus anchoring. Yo! I think you're going to enjoy that. So give yourself a round of applause. Fantastic, fantastic. Mandy loves the Circle of Excellence. Oh, good. We're going to guide you through that in a whole new way. You're going to find that so exciting and empowering, guys. Listen, it's now 11:44. We've gone on for an hour. Jeez, I never stop talking, do I? So this is it. Here we go. And lots of love. Thank you so much. Remember, just anyone didn't get a hold of it, that's the masterclass, 7th of July, 5 p.m. Register your interest today. Link below. Limited places. Be there or be square. $97. Bring a friend. Okay, guys. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. Really encourage you and salute you for coming along. Really support you for doing all this. It's just brilliant. It makes my day. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Arlene. Absolutely. I'm so thrilled. I'm glad you are, Beatrice. Wonderful. Fantastic. That's excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Eamon. Brilliant. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you enjoyed it. Wonderful stuff, guys. Take care. I will see you on Monday. Now. The man. Many, many, many's. Hello, the man 2017 INC. I'm glad we're on first name terms. Okay, guys. Lovely to see you and take care. See you next week. Bye now.